What's up, guys? Welcome back. I don't know if you noticed, but my channel went through a bit of a rebranding. I've heard from a lot of people that when they look up my channel, it's difficult to find because of the word aristocracy. So I rebranded the channel a little bit. I am now the Rock and Roll Millennial because people will remember that. So I hope you're okay with the change. I hope I'm okay with the change. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if I get a little bit more popularity. But today, we're doing another album spotlight. Today, we're going to be talking about Depeche Mode's seventh album, Violator, which became its most popular release, especially here in the US. So, let's get into the details a little bit. As I said earlier, the album title is Violator, and it's by the English alternative electronic music band Depeche Mode. They released this album on the Mute Records label, and the album clocks in at 47 minutes and 2 seconds. This album was recorded in a lot of different places, and a couple of them, well, we'll get into that. First, this was just, I get a lot of the actual details of the album from Wikipedia, so if I'm wrong, let me know. But it was recorded in Logic Studio in Milan, Italy, Pook Studio in Gerlev, Denmark. And if I have any Danish viewers or people who speak Danish, I know I probably pronounced that wrong. Tell me how to pronounce it because I would like to know. I was I've been sitting with this script for 3 days just looking at that word going, how do I pronounce that? And I couldn't find it anywhere online and I don't speak Danish. So let me know. It also was recorded at the Church Studios in London and Master Rock Studios, also in London, along with Axis Studio in New York. The album's producers were Depeche Mode, the band, and Flood, born Mark Ellis, who was a British alt rock slash post punk record producer. This album spawned four singles, which were Personal Jesus, which was released the 28th of August, 89, Enjoy the Silence, which was released 16th of January, 1990, Policy of Truth, which was released the 7th of May, 1990, and World in My Eyes, which was released the 17th of September 1990. A couple notes for the singles and the album in general. This album was the band's first to chart inside the top 10 of the US Billboard Top 200. It actually peaked at number 7, so it was far and away their most popular recording, or release rather. In the UK, the album did even better, peaking at number 2. Um, Personal Jesus as a single reached number 28 in the US and number 13 in the UK. Enjoy the Silence peaked at number 8 on the Hot 100 singles chart in the US, number 6 on the UK singles charts, and it reached number 1 on the Billboard Modern Rock charts in the US. Policy of Truth reached number 15 in the US and number 16 in the UK, and became the second track of theirs from this album alone to chart at number 1 on the Modern Rock charts. And finally, the last chronological release single for this album, World in My Eyes, reached number 52 on the US Hot 100, and it reached all the way up to number 17 in the UK. So they had four singles that reached the top 20 in their home of the UK. Now we'll get into the songs. There are 9 songs on this album. I have to say, this is one of my favorite albums. I've been doing the album reviews in order of how I would rank the albums personally. So Rumors that I did the first one. That's my favorite album, and we're getting into still my favorite albums, and I'm gonna be doing my favorite albums for at least the next 25 to 30 uh, reviews because I love all these albums, and if I like half of the songs on the album, it's one of my favorite albums because there are a lot of albums out there, and some of them I like one song or two songs, and some I just don't like any of the songs. And that's I'm talking about in any genre. So this album, I had only heard 6 of the 9 songs before last week, and I've been listening to the album on repeat for the past few days. And I think I have a comfortable ranking of these songs. I have to say, just when we get to number one, that song, I'm not going to reveal what it is because I will spoil the whole thing, but that song has been number one from this album for me since I heard it, and since it was the second song I had ever heard from this band. So I'm a little biased. I Nothing I've heard on this album has topped it yet. So, and maybe that'll change in a year or 10. This album has been out for almost 30 years, and I've been alive for almost as long. Um, but I just started listening to the whole album, and when I heard the album fully for the first time, I decided that I had to do this next because it's it'll definitely become one of my favorites. And just off of the top half of this album alone for me, it is already one of my favorites. But we're kind of stalling here. Number 9, Waiting for the Night. This is the first album that I've done where I can say the last song is probably the least interesting song. And while I do like it, like I've liked all of these songs that I've done so far, this song, I probably won't listen to constantly. So this is probably my least favorite song out of the around 40 that I've covered so far. To me, this song is about being at peace with your decisions, which is fitting for the fact of that I just said I won't be listening to the song. I'm at peace with that. The lyrics are presented beautifully, but the reason the song is ranked so low for me is the arrangement of this song just feels kind of bare. I do like the echo and the layering of the vocals at certain points, like the beginning of the verses of this song, but it doesn't save the song for me. It feels the song feels kind of thrown onto the album, which is strange because I think it was in the middle of the album in terms of how it was released. Uh, it doesn't seem to flow. Number 8 is "World in My Eyes," and I have to say, listening to this song, not ever having been in a club, but knowing what the scene is like, this is a club song. This is There's no other way to explain it. This is a song about and probably a soundtrack for sex, which is weird for me to think about when I listen to the song. And the intro only makes me think of one thing, and it's nothing like that. This intro to this song, it sounds like chiptune. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's like 8-bit recordings of songs. The intro sounds like it's from a video game. Like it sounds like the first level in Mario Brothers. It's weird to start out like that, and I, it's another song that I won't be listening to often. But I don't think I would change if it was on because now I know it's like this is from this album. This is Depeche Mode. This is, as I've said, my fifth favorite album of all time. So I don't think I'd change the song, but I won't be seeking it out. It's not going on my playlist. It's not going to be in the top 500. Uh, Number 7, Sweetest Perfection. I did some research on this song, and the consensus seems to suggest that the lyrics are about addiction. To me, I can see that, but it's not as clear as other songs about addiction in the genre, like the alternative and post punk, I guess you'd call it, genres. Because a lot of those songs that talk about addiction in kind of like, I mean, addiction is bad. It's not. I'm not glorifying that, but they talk about it in negative ways. Like examples, "Knock Me Down," Red Hot Chili Peppers, and "Lithium," Nirvana. I guess lithium is not really about addiction, but it serves the same purpose. Those songs are negative in tone. This song, "Sweetest Perfection," it's very positive. It's like it's almost praising whatever the song's about, which makes me think that it's not about addiction. I'll give you a phrase. Uh, the sweetest infection of body and mind, sweetest injection of any kind. That suggests drug addiction, especially with the words infection and injection. But I think the addiction is more metaphorical rather than physical. The poetic repetition of the song and the flow, the tempo, that's what makes me listen to the song. And I just love the way that Dave Gahan delivers the vocals in basically any song. So even if the material isn't something that I personally enjoy or have any resonance with, the delivery of any song that they sing will will attract me. Number six, "Clean." Okay, now we just went off of "Sweetest Perfection," where I said I don't think the song's about addiction. This song, "Clean," is definitely about addiction. From the title to the lyrics, like "I've broken my fall, put an end to it all. I've changed my routine. Now I'm clean." That can't be any clearer. This is way more evident in terms of its content or its message than "Sweetest Perfection." The thing that I like most about the song "Clean" is that it leads you into one pattern of thinking for the entire song. Like, oh yes, I'm clean, things are getting better. But then it changes the feeling of the song with just one phrase. The last line of the song is, "I've changed my routine. Now that I'm clean, sometimes." There's just enough ambiguity in that one sentence to leave the listener speechless. And the fact that this song closed out the album, I bet a lot of people were just sitting there on the first listen or even the 10th listen, just letting the record play out, hearing the fuzz. Or if you're listening to it on a tape, you just had to stop and like not so the tape would loop. Just sit there and listen and think about the end of this album. This song is definitely what it's about. I mean, it's clear on what it's about, not like "Sweetest Perfection." And I think the clarity of its message is what does it for me. Number five, "Blue Dress." This is one of the songs that I hadn't heard up until just very recently. Uh, but of the songs that I hadn't heard until recently, this is probably my favorite one. Um, I looked up the meaning on various websites, and it seems like no one can agree with what the meaning is. So, since I guess art, it is subjective, and there are so many different interpretations of this song, I guess that means that this song is the most artistic song on the album. I don't know how relevant or accurate that is, but it's up to you. You tell me down in the comments what you think. Uh, the song has two meanings to me. One could be the idea that the one wearing the blue dress in the song doesn't need anything else to be beautiful, which I can get from the phrase, "Something so simple, something so trivial makes me a happy man." It's just a blue dress. That's all you need. I can get that. I definitely get that for sure in some parts of the song. The other meaning that I can get from the song is that the speaker enjoys having the power over the one wearing the blue dress. Now, for people who don't know, this album came out in 1990. This Depeche Mode, the band, they had an album in 1984 called "Some Great Reward," where they released a song called "Master and Servant," which if I end up doing this album, I'll get into that song and those lyrics. Those themes sound like they're being explored here too, but I don't want to get too deep into a lyrical analysis. I just want to get off of, go off of the feelings of the song. Um, but I couldn't help but think about that, having heard other Depeche Mode songs, especially their later, darker stuff. I got a lot of those images in Blue Dress, especially when I looked further into the lyrics. Number 4 is Halo. Okay, you guys will come to know this from this channel, but my mind works in strange ways, not any conventional way. So I'm allowed one random off the wall connection in any video. Actually, I'm allowed any of them that I want. It's my video, but I'm giving myself one per video, and this is my one per video. This song, I read the lyrics. This is another of the song that I didn't know before. So when I said Blue Dress is my favorite song that I didn't know, I lied. Halo is my favorite song that I hadn't heard before. And there were only 3 songs off of this that I didn't hear, and they were all in successive order now. But Halo is Depeche Mode's version of Billy Joel's Only the Good Die Young. And now people who've heard Only the Good Die Young are frantically going onto YouTube, leaving my video in the background, looking for Halo. Hold on. Listen to the song after this video. But definitely go listen to the song and make the comparison for yourself. Or don't. I mean, it's subjective. So I could be wrong. But to me, a lot of these lyrics and a lot of the imagery in Halo sounds like they come from Only the Good Die Young. I'll give you an example. You wear guilt like shackles on your feet, a halo in reverse. To me, that sounds a lot like okay, that was the intro to Halo, by the way. To me, that sounds like the intro to Only the Good Die Young. Come out, Virginia, don't make me wait. You Catholic girls start much too late. One's a little bit more overt, and one is just suggestive, but they sound the same to me. They bring out the same images to me. Yeah. Rereading the lyrics to Halo and just thinking of the lyrics to Only the Good Die Young, there's a lot of comparisons that I could draw. And if I sit with the song for more than 10 minutes, like I had just now, I'm sure I could find a lot more. So if you guys would like a lyric comparison video between Halo and Only the Good Die Young, let me know, because that's an interesting idea that I didn't even think about until 20 minutes ago when I was listening to this song for the final time before shooting this video. And oh, by the way, I do have a script that I'm reading from, but it's not really like, it's suggestive more than anything. Like, give me bullet points and things. So if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking at the screen, uh, and making sure I'm still recording. So, and I do a lot of these things are just off the cuff, not any sort of. I do have script, like I said, but it's just bullet points. It's like, hey, remember to mention this, and then the rest is just me talking. And I do this in one take. I feel like it's better because if I do it in 2 or 3 or 5 takes, I'll kind of cut out the randomness that I think makes the video interesting. It makes any video that I see interesting. So I'm trying to emulate the things that I find interesting. Uh, any comments that you have, good, bad, I would say indifferent, but if you give me an indifferent comment, it doesn't really help me. But any advice or criticisms or applause, that's all welcome. Don't criticize me, criticize the content. That way I have a way of making the content better and more approachable. You can criticize me all you want, actually. I just care. Number 3, personal Jesus. This is another of those songs that had a lot of different takes on it. So I'm just gonna take Martin Gore's actual description of the song. Martin Gore is the guy who wrote the song, by the way. He's one of the members of Depeche Mode. So I'm gonna go with his interpretation because he wrote the thing. So he probably knows what he was talking about. Quote, it's a song about being a Jesus for somebody else, someone to give you hope and care. How often that happens in love relationships, how everybody's heart is like a god in some way, and that's not a wow, very balanced view of someone, is it? And I don't think anything more needs to be said. Actually, a lot of things less could have been said. I should have not messed that up. But for the first time in 5 videos that I've done at almost 40 songs, we actually get a description of the song and its lyrics by the guy who wrote it. And that's obviously going to be a welcome thing and an uncommon thing. So I'm going to just go with him on this and say that's what it's about. There is one addition I'd like to make, and it's on the first line of the song. This gets repeated throughout the song. Quote, reach out and touch faith. Now, don't take this as any religious type of thing, but I am going to take it in a religious sense for just a second. Faith, from a religious standpoint, is the belief in things that are not seen yet which are true. The idea of reaching out and touching something that isn't exactly tangible seems to drive home the point of the song, which is to say that we shouldn't treat other fallible humans like gods. I like this song. It's in the top 3. Um, I realized I had heard this song before, of course, but listening to it in the recap that I did just before the video, I realized that I've heard this song about 10 times more often than I thought I did. I wasn't even I didn't even have the lyrics out, and I was singing along, and I didn't realize like I thought maybe I've heard the song somewhere, but no, it's a little bit more common than I thought. Uh, this song definitely is going in my top 500. It wasn't before because I didn't think about it. I mean, I've listened to music. I've been listening to most music that has been made since the 50s, like from the 50s to about the mid 2000s, and that's my music taste. All music for 55 years. That's my music taste. So, I mean, to put 500 songs in a list, you're going to exclude a lot of songs. And this is a song that I didn't even think of when I started my list 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago almost. Uh, but it's going on the list now, and we'll have to see where it ends up. I'm going to try to get the top 500 songs playlist, we'll say, started by next week. And we'll just say by next Sunday, which is the latest I would do a video next week. There are a lot of songs that I'm realizing that I'm excluding in from my top 500, and it's like, should I do a top 500 because I'll feel like, oh yeah, these 40,000 songs didn't show up. It's becoming a lot more difficult than I had hoped. I'm gonna do at least the way I planned on doing it is recording like 5 to 10 minute videos of each song. So that way I don't like jump too far ahead. Like give you 500 to 491 or, and then jump too far ahead because I was going to make a playlist for you guys on Spotify of the 500, but just organizing it on my own before making the playlist is becoming a hassle because it's like I'm leaving out this song. I'm leaving out that song, and I don't want to do that. So I want to make it as perfect as possible. So I'm gonna try to get at least number 500 out by next Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. Huge tangent aside, let's get back to the top two. Okay, number two, Enjoy the Silence. For me, this song wins the award for the weirdest music video. And I've seen a lot of weird music videos. Remember, I'm a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. Seen some weird music videos. This is the weird. I mean, it makes no sense. It. I'm not gonna spoil this because that's not fair. And if you haven't heard the song, it's a great song, and the video is cool. It just is weird. So go watch it. It has millions of views. I said. Just go watch it for yourself. Enjoy it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if it's a strange video. Spoiler alert, it is. I am right. Apart from the odd visuals, this song has a catchy beat and awesome lyrics. What more do you need? It's a great song. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple of lyrics that show the intent of the song, and we'll go into that together. Words are very unnecessary. They can only do harm. And feelings are intense. Words are trivial. Okay, those are perfect summations of this message. It's ironic about, having a song about not speaking some of the best spoken lyrics. Really, guys? Really? Martin Gore? You had to do this? You had to write a song about enjoying silence that's 5 minutes long and has some of the best lyrics? That is some class A irony right there. Okay, we're finally here. It's the number one best song, according to me, and of course I'm right all the time. Haha, just kidding. But number one, Policy of Truth. Okay, I have major bias here because I think I stated earlier that I love this song, and it's been my favorite song from this album for since I heard this song and only the song from the album. This is the first song I heard from the album. And then very quickly heard Enjoy the Silence and Personal Jesus, and then heard the rest of the songs later on. And those three just heard for the first time last week. I was really cutting myself off from this album for some reason. But Policy of Truth. I talk about a lot of songs being in my top 500, but I'm making a statement right now, even after the big spiel I just made about it being difficult, to organize these songs. This song, Policy of Truth, is going to be in my top 25, without a doubt. I'm not going to spoil the song, but this is another summation for you from the song itself. Hide what you have to hide and tell what you have to tell. The policy of truth is just going to lead to more hurt than is necessary. Sometimes, the phrase little white lie, sometimes those are okay. I mean, ethically, no. But in the short term, sometimes those are okay. And it's it's better to just leave things unsaid. Whatever is your own business, keep that to yourself. That's essentially what the video is talking about. Now, this is not an advice video, so I'm going to stop giving you advice that is unwarranted. I just have to say that if you this is just my closing remarks. If you like electronic music or alternative music in general, you'll love this album. It's my 5th favorite album of all time. And having listened to music pretty much every day for the past 24 years, nearly 24 years, I think I know a thing or two about music. And so putting this as my 5th favorite album with all of the albums I have ever heard in my life, which is admittedly short, but there's a lot that I've heard. I think that says something about this album and this band in general. They deserve a lot more credit in their own genre than they get. Kind of like the same situation that I had when I did my REM video, which I believe was my most recent video. Yeah, I believe so. REM, yes, they are a big name. Depeche Mode, so are they. But they aren't getting enough credit for what they did, in my opinion. People know their name, but people aren't really paying attention. I mean, the bands are now no longer recording, but for the time that they were around, they were they should have been a lot bigger than they were, in my opinion, and they deserve to be talked about more after you know, their closing. I'll say. Uh, but thank you guys for sitting through and paying attention and watching another video of mine. I'm really, really getting excited about this. And so I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a comment down below what you'd like me to see next. Please, please make sure to hit the like button if you enjoy. Hit the dislike button if you didn't enjoy, and tell me why, because I'm always working toward getting better. And if you look down below, somewhere over there, and the subscribe button is still red, I mean, you haven't clicked it yet, and you should. I mean, you're here. I'm assuming this is not your first time here. I've made 5 videos now. I, I'm assuming you've at least seen one of them. I'm pushing to get them more views, and so I'm hoping to see more of you. But if you like what you saw, wouldn't you like to see more? I mean, that's what the subscribe button's for. You gotta see more. So go do that too. And I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys. I'm gonna try for a video on Sunday. We'll see how that goes. But if not, there will be another album review next Wednesday. So you guys have a great day.